All right, we are here with Tram Nguyen, who is a Democratic candidate for state representative, taking on an incumbent who's been in office for a while, Jim Lyons, representing a section of Tewksbury and Andover as
North
well.
Andover and Tewksbury.
North Andover and Tewksbury.
And Boxford as well.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So it's really for a state representative district. It's fairly sprawled a little bit as districts go. They didn't make it easy for this particular one. So for folks who have not had a chance to meet you, just a little bit about your background and what made you decide to run for state rep.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to be on this podcast, if you will. But I'm very thrilled to be running, and I'm very thrilled that you want to cover this race. As mentioned, I am running for the 18th Essex District, and to clarify, that's Andover, Boxford, North Andover, and Tewksbury. And we have precincts 3 and 3A of Tewksbury, the ones bordering Andover. And for me, as a legal aid attorney, I've represented clients such as survivors of domestic violence, seniors, veterans, people with disability, as both their advocate and attorney in the courtroom. But I've also worked as a legislative advocate at the State House, working on bills such as paid family medical leave, earned income tax credit, and other bills to support working families. And in working on these bills, I realized that I'm very much interested in policy and legislation that would improve the quality of life of people not only in this district but all throughout the Commonwealth. And that's what I'm interested in continuing to do, and that's why I decided to run. But essentially, one of the motivating factors is that I think that a state representative needs to be available and accessible to the people, and essentially that's what I'm looking to be. As someone who has served as a legal aid attorney, my job literally is to listen to clients, work with them, and solve problems, and I think those skills would be very transferable to that of a representative.
Sure, absolutely. Constituent services and getting out there, working with the communities. Now, in getting out there as a candidate in this district, I'm sure you've tried to spend as much time as you can meeting people in each of the towns. Have you found that there are some common themes that you've heard from people in terms of what their concerns are, as far as what they're looking for, and some of what their life concerns are, whether it's somebody who's in Boxford or somebody who's in Tewksbury?
I think the main concerns for people is to make sure that their voice is being heard at the State House and that they have access to their representative, that when they have a problem, they can reach out to their representative and actually get in touch with someone, and the representative would get back to them to work with them to solve the problem. So for instance, Boxford now has an issue with Andrews Farm, where they're having a water problem, and they've been trying to reach out to their representative, and it's been very difficult. And I am very much committed to making sure that when people have issues such as that they can turn to their legislator to resolve the problem, or at least be in attendance to try to mediate. And some of the common themes are really just everyday issues that we see. People move to this community because they love the quality of life. We love our community.
Right.
We want to make sure that the resources and opportunity and other programs in the community are well funded, so that we can have the quality of life that we want, including funding for schools, roads, and bridges, and especially I know in Tewksbury people have a lot of concerns about the roads and lack of sidewalks, and those are things that are coming up regularly. And I think that that's where a state representative can come in and really help out and try to get the state funding. We're already paying so much in state taxes, we might as well get it back into our own towns rather than have it go elsewhere. And that's why people need a strong advocate in a legislator or in a representative at the House to advocate for additional funding for programs and to fix the infrastructure and invest in schools so that every child has the opportunity to succeed. I'm in my 30s. I moved back here because of the school system, so I'm very much invested in making sure that the public schools are well funded. We plan to start a family eventually, and I grew up in this area in the Merrimack Valley, went through the public school system myself, and want to make sure that we maintain the excellence that they are.
Excellent. One of the issues that really seems to have been impacting the Merrimack Valley in particular has been the opioid epidemic. And you are somebody who I'm sure through working in your profession has seen the lives that have been impacted on this. What would you like to see done, or what do you like or not like that's being done on the state level to help in addressing the opioid crisis?
I completely agree that this is an issue that has come up very often in this district. And growing up in this area, I've seen it both in friends who have gone through and suffered the addiction, or have also worked with clients who have gone through some issues. And I think that this is a health issue that we need to address by working on prevention and long-term treatment program. This is not a matter of criminalization. This is not a matter of detaining people. This is a matter of making sure that we are giving them the resources possible so that we can work with them for a long-term treatment and making sure that they can come back to the community rehabilitated and able to stay off of it. And,
Sure. Right.
This is a matter of working to make sure that drugs are not so easily accessible, but then also if people are suffering from that we are working very closely with them and their families to really work on a long-term solution.
Excellent. Recently, this week, one of the hurdles with the state budget, which had been dangling for weeks and weeks, was the amendment having to do with declaring Massachusetts to be a sanctuary state. And the immigration issue and illegal immigration is, again, an issue I'm sure that you've run into quite a bit in your work. And now this amendment got shot down. It got voted down. If you had been the state representative representing this district, how would you have voted on that? How would you have seen that issue?
As an attorney, I hate to be doing things in hypotheticals, but my position on this is that we have very limited resources as is, especially with local police. And there was a recent amendment to get additional funding for police, and that passed recently to tack on $2 in rental car in taxes to rental car to give municipal police training, and thankfully that went through, and unfortunately our state representative voted against that. But my point is that they have very limited funding. They're always trying to find ways to find funding, and so their limited resources need to be focused on protecting the people of this district and throughout the Commonwealth. And if we are asking them to carry out the tasks and the responsibilities of the federal government, that's very concerning to me, because where are they going to get the resources? And if they're distracted by that, then where are they available when I need help to call them? And so these are concerns I have, and I, of course, would want to work with other lawmakers to figure out creative ways to address these problems of people's concerns. I, as an officer of the law, I'm very much invested in making sure that criminals stay off the streets, that people are safe, that our communities are safe, and that we address things in a holistic way, taking in different factors and making sure that we actually have adequate funding. And also, separation of the state and federal government is very important. I mean, this is the 10th Amendment. As an attorney, I care very deeply about the Constitution, and I think that if we're asking local state police officers to carry out the tasks of the federal government, that doesn't seem to sit very well with the Constitution the way it seems.
Excellent. In terms of the balance that exists right now on Beacon Hill, obviously Democrats hold a large majority. For this district, for the people who live in the 18th Essex, do you feel like that having a Democrat as a state representative can be more effective and can do more for the district, being part of a majority in the state legislature? Does that carry an advantage with it?
I think that being a part of the majority has some advantage, but the most important thing is to be able to find someone who can work across the aisle to get things done. I understand that a lot of people have concerns about the federal government and the divisiveness that we're seeing, but the same thing I don't think exists in the State House because of the Democratic majority. There are 34, I believe, Republican representatives. And so, in order to get for a Republican to get anything done, they need to work with other Democrats. The numbers just don't work out for them, so they know that they must work with Democrats to get anything through. And that's key: is to build coalition, to collaborate, to get things done. And that's what I bring to the table. Is that I've worked in bipartisan bills, and I think that's what's been missing in this district is that we have a representative in place who has not passed one bill since he's been in office since 2010. He's proposed plenty, but he hasn't passed anything because he hasn't been able to get the support needed to get past that 81 vote SMART to get bills through. And we also need someone who can effectively advocate for additional funding from the state so that the entire tax burden doesn't fall on us as local taxpayers. And that takes being able to work with the Democratic majority. And I've seen other Republicans been able to do that, but that requires a lot of communication, a lot of, again, collaboration. And that's what I am committed to doing to make sure that we are advocating for adequate funding so that resources are coming into the district, resources that we absolutely need, including fixing. I know that there was money coming in for the intersection at Andover Street and River Road right here. I mean, we had our legislator voted against that. So I would have voted for it if we're talking about hypotheticals, because I think it's necessary to fix the intersection and roads and other things that we as local taxpayers want for our community.
The I won't say the downside, but let's say the potential pitfall to being a new any new legislator, but particularly as part of a Democratic majority, is you need to be able to work with the leadership on within your party to, well, I suppose, one, make sure that your office doesn't wind up in the basement, but also to try to get bills passed and try to get things heard. There have been, to be quite honest, there's been a series of leadership scandals, problems with House leaders and Senate leaders within the Democratic Party. If you get elected, what is your approach to being able to work with leaders, veterans of the party, leaders in the party, but not, I hate to put it this way, but not to fall in with the wrong crowd up there, not to wind up connected to some folks who might not have the best intentions for using their political office, I guess.
Right. Well, I think that transparency and accountability are key to address these issues, because when we know how our representatives are voting and what they're doing up there, then I presume a representative would be more cautious as to how he or she votes. And that takes making votes more readily available. Even now, I'm having a lot of difficulty trying to access votes and seeing how things have been voted on. And I think that the website can be updated to allow for that. We have technology for that now, to allow people to have access to more information so that they can hold their legislators accountable. But in terms of making sure that, I think you're trying to ask if, a lot of people have been saying, oh, well, if you're a Democrat, you're a rubber stamp, etc. I can assure you that I am no rubber stamp for anyone. The fighting spirit's in my blood. I came here at 5 years old as a political refugee, had to my parents, my dad served as a prisoner of war for 8 years in Vietnam and had to fight for his life, and then he had to fight for his life again after he got out and was persecuted by the communists. And we came here as political refugee and had to fight for everything we have. So I've been taught to fight for what's right, and that's what I've been doing. I could have gone to work anywhere, but after law school, instead, I work for public service because I'm that committed to making sure that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm working for the people, and that's what I will continue to do.
Excellent. It seems as though this year, maybe even more so in years past, there are a lot of first-time candidates running for state legislature across the state, and a lot, it seems, of female candidates who are stepping in. Is that something that as you've been running, have you been aware of that? Have you seen that? And is that something that you're happy to see? Is that something that you're gratified to be a part of?
I think the democratic process needs more people challenging status quo, and I'm very thrilled to see that that's what's been happening. I'm a part of a large network of Emerge, which is a training program for women candidates.
Sure.
I've done the program, and I have seen a lot of my Emerge sisters running for office, and a lot of us have been reaching out to one another for support, whether it's to get information as a first-time candidate or just to talk about how campaigning is going and trying to keep each other's spirits up. And I think it's very exciting that there are so many races going on, because I think that this will raise awareness of people overall to help them start paying attention and help them become more aware of the issues that they care about and who is working on what to address those issues. And that will make for more informed electorate, and that will make for more interesting races going forward. I'm very excited to see that there are so many other women running here, as well as other men first-time candidates, because it makes the conversations much more interesting, the races much more interesting.
Now, in your case, running against Jim, both of you were running unopposed in the primary, so you guys can just set your eyes on each other. But there are, across the state, and even in the Merrimack Valley, there are established incumbents who are being challenged within their own party, on the Democratic side, on the Republican side. But speaking on the Democratic side, do you feel like that's something that is good for the party, I guess, and good for the political process when incumbents face a primary challenge from within their own party?
I think that does improve democracy. I mean, more challengers means that ideas are being challenged, the status quo is being challenged, and frankly, a fresh voice and a new perspective is always good to try to make sure that new ideas are being new laws, and that we're looking at different policies from different lenses, and I think that is very helpful, and I think that's better for our state overall. And I think that everyone deserves an opportunity to run if they so choose, and I wouldn't discourage anyone from doing that.
Excellent. As a first-time candidate, and I guess this will be the last question, as a first-time candidate, getting out there, meeting people, shaking hands, talking to people, has it gone, I guess, as expected? Has there been anything that's kind of surprised you along the way that you've learned through the process so far?
So when I went through the training program to prepare myself for the race, I was told that, most people are very nice at the doors. You shouldn't be afraid. Most people are very nice when you call them for donations. And I was very skeptical about that. But you know what? It's true. Most people are very nice. And you can't get what you want unless you ask for it. So this is why you go to the doors and ask for the votes, and you call people and ask for the donations. And to be frank, things have been going phenomenal. We're getting so much support from within the district, from people door knocking with us to people hosting meet and greets and fundraisers for us, and we're just absolutely thrilled that people are paying attention this year, that they are focusing on this race, because I'm taking 7 months off to run full time, so I'm out there every single day. People see that, and they're excited about it, and they want to join us. And that's what we'll continue to do from now until November. Like you said, I'm unopposed and primary, so we're focusing right onto the November election.
Right.
And so we're going full speed ahead from now until then.
As you introduce yourself to people and try to get people to know who Tram Nguyen is, what is it that you want them to know? What do people need to know about you as a person?
They need to know that I am the type of person who will listen. And I think that's very key because not only do people want to be heard, they also want to make sure that their voice is being reflected in the state market. That's what I want to assure people, that no matter who you are, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, whether you're a supporter or not a supporter, if I'm elected, I will work with you to try to help address whatever issues that you have, because that is in my blood as an advocate. When someone comes to the doors, I don't ask them, where do you stand on X, Y issues before I start working with them, right? When a client comes in, it's more, okay, let's sit down. What issues do you have? How can I work with you to help solve this? And that's how I'm going to approach this this job as a representative, is to make sure that people know that no matter where they stand now or where they stand later, whether they stand with me or not, that they have someone who will advocate for them and will work with them to make sure that they are being fully represented.
Excellent. Outstanding. Outstanding. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. We've been talking with Tram Nguyen, who is a candidate, Democratic candidate in the 18th Essex District, taking on incumbent Republican Jim Lyons. And we certainly wish you the best of luck, and we look forward to talking to you more throughout the campaign.
Well, thanks so much, Bill, and thank you to all the listeners. We would love to hear from you. I hope you will post my information.
Absolutely. I should have asked
great.
that. If people want to learn more about you, more about the campaign, how can they find out more about you?
So I have a website. It's called votetram.com. That's VOTETRAM.com. But they can also call me directly. My cell phone's on all my literature because I want to be available and accessible. And that's 978-566-9780. I also have a Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter. We're very active on social media, and we would love to hear from you and hear about the issues that you care about.
Excellent. Outstanding. Again, we appreciate it, and best of luck.
Thanks so much.